a minute. It's just mic without hands. So it's portable. You can put the battery in and just record it. It's not going directly to the computer, though. It's recording to the card and everyone. It's yeah. Anyway. So almost everyone seated. And we'll have to somehow start the night. And I think the best way to start the night is the question, why the hell did you come here? Why are you here? What's so interesting for you to be here other than anywhere else and do anything else in your life? Why this place? Why today? Why now here? And with that also you can introduce yourself if you want to say something about you. So let's start from you.
I guess I say since the last 2 years, my third time here, started to feel a little sense of separation or awareness of watching drama in my life a little bit more. So happily being aware of seeing myself upset or stressed or circling emotionally for no reason. But there's a little bit more separation than I've experienced before. So, an interesting 3 weeks. I don't think you have a specific question.
You have a specific question?
No. So widen the gap, I guess.
Very good.
I'm Danielle, and I'm here because I like to have conversations like this with everyone and listen to what you have to say with me. I am here because I travel place, and because I feel probably because the times that I've been here, I felt a really great sense of presence that takes over during my days. So I would love to connect to that sense again.
Hi, I'm Audrey. I came because I haven't been here for a while, and I wanted to reconnect. And yeah, just been noticing that I've been getting a little bit of questions from getting into the stories.
I think for me it's more about curiosity. I found out more through, I have no idea what's going to happen in this meeting, but I'm here. So yeah, I guess it's more about curiosity. Yeah.
Very good.
Like the spiritual stuff. Yeah, so that's all I guess. My name is Kimberly. I held a retreat. This was the prerequisites. Oh, okay. And then just hearing as people talking about cleaning up like our attachments to more stories. I've been attached to a couple stories lately, so I should probably clean that up. Well, I'm taking action, but dealing with anger from like action. Or to be more observant around it instead. So, I'm here. Where I'm here now.
Very good.
Hi, I'm Linda, and I would like to explore spiritualism a little bit further, a whole lot further, or forever and ever. I think it's a never-ending adventure. And I've attended meetings in this sense, not with Rambi, but with other meetings, spiritual meetings, and I thoroughly enjoyed what they had to offer to me. And I found it very useful in my daily life. And so I anxious. And knew Audrey, it was a complete turnaround. We have a story that is not connected to this whatsoever, but we're both here today, so I'm just thrilled that you're again. So, obviously, I think
What a coincidence.
very much so.
Brian, I came here because I like to get out and meet new people, and my one here, I like to spend time with her too. So, yeah, when I get more in touch with myself spiritually, and I start to be pretty good for session.
Very good.
Hey, I'm Lindsay. I just came for the cookies. I've been exploring that for quite a number of years. Assuming there's a lot of overlap, probably. So I think just curiosity, meet some people to my own interests.
Very good.
And I'm Marcus, and I'm also doing the retreat, so I figured it would be a little fresh rather than parachute into the retreat.
So, yeah, that's why I ask people to sign up. So be careful before what you're going into. Uh, yeah.
Fady, F-A-D-Y. And I got mixed up on the dates. I thought the retreat already started. And I was texting just saying, have a good time there. And it was like, you know what? The retreat is next week and there's a meeting today, so why don't you come? Okay. I was in downtown, so yeah, let's do it.
I was speaking with Dar earlier about the message actually being more involved in the practical aspects and the spiritual aspect. And she said, when I'm engaged, I do that, cover a lot of this stuff in my go at it. But aside from that, I maintain a blog. I write a lot for the last several years on investigating spiritual issues. And speaking to a lot to the topic for the last year in particular.
Yeah, it's kind of had his own experiences with it.
Well, very good. Now, everybody would expect me to introduce also myself, right? But I'm not gonna do it. Why? Because I don't know what to say, first of all. What would be important to you? To me, there's nothing so important to tell about myself that would be so relevant to tonight that you could not live without it. You can always ask anything what you want, but at this moment I can say my name is Rimbi. I've been doing this for quite a while, maybe almost 2 years, and I've done already one retreat and I'm doing another one. Those who are coming already are aware of it, and those who are not coming yet maybe may get interested after tonight to sign up, and if so, just come to me and tell me so. I'll personally add you. And other than that, I really never know what to say about myself because there's no story in particular that would benefit the situation tonight. Unless you ask something specific, I may answer. Other than that, I don't know what to say. However, what do you expect to get tonight? What's the expectation? You must come here to somehow either experience something or to see something or to listen and hear something. It's something brings you if curiosity, some particular curiosity, because you're curious in this in a certain way that this something is here that brought me here. So I want to get that one and go out of here and say yes, I came here and got that one. What I came here for. So what is that?
I thought the brochure said guaranteed enlightenment.
Did it say somewhere?
It wasn't us.
I think I had one meeting. Come on, it's your last chance to get enlightened. So, but yes, it is guaranteed because you'll see for yourself. But right now, there's one big issue that we could solve. There is a water bottle behind you, which somehow didn't appear to be next to me. No, the Fiji bottle. So if it could manifest towards me, that would be amazing. Yes.
What about if I go downstairs to get some parking meeting, like how?
Oh yeah, if you buzz 1418,
Okay, so.
yeah, I'll send somebody who may help you to get in.
Okay, because my parking is about to expire.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do exactly nothing. That you're not gonna miss anything.
Oh,
No, don't worry. People will enjoy doing nothing. I assure you.
Uh,
Yeah, I assure you. They will love it, and you'll come and you'll enjoy it also. Don't worry.
Oh, thanks, you guys so much out there.
Yeah, so okay, so now prepare to do nothing. It's going to be a very special experience. Just after you tell me what it is that you want to get. You think I'm gonna leave you like that? You have to be honest with yourself. You're not coming here to listen to me. You're coming here to get something. Maybe listening to me may direct you into experiencing that or gaining a possibility to see into how that experience may come out in your being. But I cannot tell you anything if you don't know what you want. So you have to be clear in your own being. What is it that you want? Maybe you want some fluffy, beautiful, orgasmic, enlightening, flashy uh, feeling,
I'll take one of those.
if you don't want, I may say there's a story behind this building. It's called spiritual feelings. They organize meetings daily, and you can go there and shop. I don't offer special feelings unless they come in your own being. It's fine, but what is provided here is what is already present in your being. And if that is a special feeling that you have, well, that is present already in your being. So I will not provide some sort of special technique or equipment how to experience something special. Just to be clear about that, because what is to be experienced here is not special at all. It's just the most regular thing. There's nothing about it. Like literally, I cannot give you anything, but I want to know what you want, and I'll see. Maybe there's a way into it.
I don't know if I ever showed that.
That's a good one. No, don't copy. You have to have your own intimate one. Don't feel shy also about it. If you come here, it's not just to listen, but to explore your own experience. You have to already start experiencing from this moment. And if you experience shyness, that's okay.
I like to shake my belief once in a while. I think it's healthy. Challenge your own beliefs.
Very good. So we'll challenge them today.
Detachment from my stories.
Uh-huh.
In silence, silent message.
I don't know, maybe sometimes it's a too personal question to ask. What do you want?
Just want to get out and explore like the world and then big bang the universe. Like see what take care of.
Anyone else wants to admit?
I actually went to everything. I went to teletransportation, telepathy, seeing auras, all of that. I believed too far, so silence would be good for them.
That's good. Let's start from silence. After that, we'll go to other.
I'm coming from Ontario right now, and Ontario is very different from British Columbia, especially Vancouver, and the meetups are very different, and the opportunities are very different that I've experienced. And one of the things that I know in Vancouver is the amount of spiritual energy that people have for different aspects of their state of life, whatever that may be. And it's something that I don't think about at all in Ontario. It doesn't cross my mind. I'm on Meetup. I join the spiritual Meetup one, maybe, or whatever's there, which is maybe one, and they don't have any activities. So when I come here, the first thing I do is plug into the hiking meetups, the walking meetups, the spiritual ones, and I thoroughly enjoy Curtin. I just, that chanting meditation, I just love it. I love the music, and they don't have that too often in Ontario. And so this video came up on the computer, and I was reading through it, and one thing that I found interesting was a statement, I believe, that said, was to detach from yourself to experience yourself. Something like that's what I read. That's what I understood to mean, which is something different than somebody coming out and saying, I have experienced something and I want you to join me in my belief or my experience. So that's kind of what caught my eye in this particular activity that was posted on Meetup, and I thought, oh, I'd like to see that. And by the sounds of it, you're not going to do that for me.
Oh no, you're gonna do it for yourself.
You do it without telling me how to do it. That's what I'm expecting.
Very good. We already have some sensitivity here. But first of all, we'll have to find out, have you not already done it?
That's a good point.
That's I think where we'd have to start. Anything that you want is, don't you already have it? And how do you know that you don't have it? What tells you that you don't have what you want? Can you show that to me? By what do you know that you don't have what you want? See, in here, the way we're gonna approach things is by very internal introspection, and attention is going to be drawn by questions and by different type of pointers into your own experience. So I'm not necessarily gonna talk much, and yet I may say sometimes a little more extensive about something just because the mouth does that. I'm not in a big control of that, as he is. I cannot control my makeup. I may say something, I may be silent. So at this moment, there is a question for you to pay attention to and to really take a look. How do you know? By what means can you determine that you don't already have what you want?
because I couldn't experience what I want.
That's a question. You're not so certain about it. So you don't know even if this is true also, right?
Yeah.
So how do you know that you don't experience what you want?
Because when I visualize what I want to do, instead of thinking and experiencing,
What are you experiencing now?
you know,
And what do you want to experience? You want to experience everything at all, or nothing at all is good enough?
not existing.
So don't you already have it?
I know.
Let's see, when I have to give nothing, it's very easy, and people want nothing. It's immediately fulfilled. But now, if you want something, and how do you know that you don't already have it? Also, see, when I ask this question, nobody speaks. It's immediately silent, as if I say something so disturbing or so heavy for the mind that it cannot, it just shuts up. Otherwise, we could sit here and talk about everything else, about the socks, about weather, about anything. But as soon as this kind of question appears, everybody shuts up.
Well,
There's
the
nothing to
arms is
say.
quiet. So when it all up, is what's going through my mind is the difference between what I need and what I want. And they're very different things. I have everything I need to be here, to be, I'm still here, right? If I didn't have what I needed, I'd be gone. Transformed already. So, question of what I want is a different thing. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I have everything I need, so I can't say that I want anything.
Well, that's good. That sounds easy. If you, if
I
you,
think, what do I want? I could make up stories about, well, I want to have a place to sleep tonight, I want to have food.
it's not like you really want it now. So that's good. That's good enough also. Not not to know what you want, not to even find anyone. So it's, at least you don't live a story which may bother you that you want something very much. You're already empty of that. And if you cannot find the want, what will be better? See, I feel maybe it's too uncomfortable to start the night in this way. Maybe I should say something. Because otherwise, it seems like it's just silent and nobody feels maybe enjoyed. And some guy questions me weird questions. I don't know what to say. Just keeps looking at me.
Do the singing goals. What's your ritual again? I'll answer it. I just can't remember what it is.
What was the question? Anybody remember?
What is it that tells you that you don't already have it?
What is it?
When you say you came here for something, what is it that's telling you that you don't already have it?
Oh, well, I came here to see what it would look like if I disassociated from everything around me, like my wants and my needs, which I don't really have anything significant that I want or need, but if I can detach from that, what does that leave? And I'm kind of in that space now because I'd like to know what I looks like to me.
How do you know that you don't already know that?
Because I never thought of it before,
And
so I don't know. Like this thought was just today. what I read was reading
just
closer.
today.
Yeah, I was just reading closer, and to see what your philosophy was to see. And the other thing I was looking for was a trademark. They haven't really, with the power within, not in. And I was seeing what was a trademark. But then I read the good stuff, and it said, and then I noticed that you were broadcasting it, and I thought, whoa, Kentucky too. So where are you going with this? So you had my curiosity, but anyways, back to your question, is that I guess if I can't see I, then I wonder what people would think I look like without being surrounded by all my stuff and my family and my job and all my stuff. If they couldn't see all that, what would I look like? Because we often identify people by what they look like, their rod size, their shoe size, it doesn't matter. We all know what we look for. But if we didn't have any of that to look, it's like the piano players. Now they use blind screen. They listen to the piano players when they're auditioning, so they can't see the player to see whether it's male, female, attractive, unattractive. So like if we had a blind in front of me, what would you see? Of me? Well, you wouldn't see anything, but could you hear me? Probably not. Could you feel me? Probably not. So am I there? With that same blindness.
So, in your own experience, can you determine I? Like, can you introduce yourself as I and show me the I? What is I?
With words?
No, with whatever way it expresses in your being. If it's words, feeling, silence, whatever.
I think I can express myself the best when I do things for others.
So right now in this one sentence, you said I think myself. Are you the I or myself? Are you the one who thinks, or are you that myself which is being expressed?
I think it's the I and the activity that I do with myself. That's what I think.
Is that a certain fact that you experience, or this is a thought?
It's a thought right now because I never thought about it.
So you're not really certain. You're not sure. This could be so, but it could be also not.
Right.
So we can already assume that there's a different perspective into the way that we experience the I, the self, the idea of who we are. And as today we came here with the I that you come. Like some of the I's signed up and gave their identity as they're known in this world, and some of the I's who have been here didn't do it, but they already brought the I. So through these doors, an I entered, and each one of you has individual experience of it, and it's very intimate because it's you. It's the sense of you. Right? So right now, this I appears to be in whatever way it feels for you. And it will be questioned to experience, is this really true? Because it may also be so, and we can assume yes, thank you very much. Yeah, you have to scan to the black screen to get to the 10th floor. Perfect. Now I'm excused to remember what I was talking about. Okay. If anybody still anyway remembers what I'm saying, because I personally never know what I'm saying. Just to make sure that you know that, and I'm not tricking you that I have prepared the whole talk here. I first of all have to remember what is the topic of tonight. If somebody would even help with that, it would be better, but we'll wait for somebody to come. See the screen here. Yeah. Think out of your mind, experiencing unseen or something like that. Right?
This one maybe I'll take it. Correct. I think we're very similar in what we said at the very beginning in terms So that you used the word detachment, which was good. I think you used the word feeling a sense of separation. So kind of happily watching myself be upset, I guess would be the best way to describe my last month. Not that I was upset all the time, but that was when it was most obvious. So if your question was, what is it that tells me that I don't already have that? Why can't I continuously be in that state of happily watching the drama of my life, which tends to make me more intelligent and even when I'm upset? What is it that tells me that that's not available to me at all times? I guess is that a fair way to express your question? The fact that I'm not, I guess that it's reality. I don't know. It seems to be a pretty authoritative voice, like not there on regular. I think it's worse because I'm seeing some glimpses of it. I don't know.
I would almost believe you if you believe yourself what you're saying right now. But I don't know, are you believing totally yourself that
Well, I wouldn't
this
believe
is
it.
true what you're
I
saying?
wouldn't believe it if I could confidently stay there. But it seems to.
So you believe that you're not there right now?
Probably right now more than right now. Yeah, right now's good. Often, in percentage terms, it's
Okay. So other than now,
yeah. Then, well, you don't know.
so now is okay, but other than now, it's maybe percentage-wise troublesome.
I mean, I guess percentage is a silly thing. Say 15% of my time, I was self-aware of the I for the last month. It's a lot higher percentage than it usually is. So, even though, but then I go and then comment and back. That's
Very good. We're gonna track the level of improvement into experiencing the self. And tonight you'll experience from 0 to 100%. So don't get scared if the intensity of the experience of your own self may increase. And you may feel yourself a little bit more or less, I don't know, whichever way you feel. But let's wait for that uh, other girl to come back. And let's keep to the idea that you're not okay. And it's so hard to feel in this now.
Can I turn the air conditioning off?
Yeah. I think she knows. Right? Perfect. Thank you very much. No, one more. Here. Perfect. So we may start exploring, or we may just shut up and sit silently for a moment. Just gonna determine how the moment will feel like. I don't know what's going on right now in your head already. It's like maybe what am I doing here? Or why am I sitting here? This is something strange, something weird. I don't really understand what's going on. Why these people are talking this? Or you may be intrigued and actually curious what's gonna happen with yourself. This is all about you tonight. It's not about me. It's not about anybody else. No less applause. See? We create a spontaneous moment that she doesn't expect. Okay, very good. So we did nothing, as we said. Did we do anything? Did it feel like we did anything? If we did something, let's tell her what we did. Nobody else can tell What did it do? Okay, so it seems like, as you say, nobody.
But the atmosphere, is very so relaxed and good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, people seem to relax also. I think so. So now it's all about you.
Okay.
No, you have to relax.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess we have to still talk about something because she has to feel that feeling that you're about to feel without her. Uh, and we were talking about you
Okay.
the whole time, as he said. And we would like to find out what do you really, really want and how do you know that you don't already have it?
How do I know what?
That you don't already have it.
If I don't have it?
Yes.
Um, Honestly, like recently, I was I've been reading about October's work. Starting to go through all his books, and then right now, what I'm doing is like just just being myself, and I'm not really to expect anything that's happening. I'd rather just let it unfold itself. That's more like nowadays I'm trying to do. So I'm not that expecting that much as before. And I feel, yeah, so I don't.
Okay, so right now I'm very happy to see that you already have some sense of what is this, and if I ask you a question, what is I that doesn't expect so much anymore? What is that I? Because you say I don't expect so much, right?
Yes.
So there's a sense of I.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Can you say this is what I is? Can you describe the I?
It's my ego.
Oh, I don't know. You have to tell me. Don't ask me. It feels like a question. This is my ego. No, you have to tell me what this I feels like. What does it look like? What does it smell like? And this is not only for you. The question is for every I who's sitting here.
When I say that, of course, I need to find a name. So for I, but also when you say that I feel it's like yeah, it's a little bit like somebody else. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So I feels a little like somebody else, like maybe ego, not even like me. So it's not you. The I is not you.
Yeah.
So who are you?
So,
In that sense, who are you? If you already can sense this suspicion that the I that appears to be the I that lives this life, that expects, that worries, that thinks, that imagines, that envisions, that gets troubled, that hurts, that this one may be not so much of me. It seems like maybe ego, something else. Maybe that already is a sensation. So what is me in that sense? Well, if something that feels me is not me, what is me? Again, maybe too hard of a question.
I guess
Sorry.
you can't really describe that in the
True.
Yeah. Because when they say when God describes it, it's just like I am that I am. You can't really describe it in words actually.
Very good.
Right? Just yeah.
Very good.
There's also a sense that there's a presence when like I am that I am. It's just I'm present and I'm present. Like it's just a moment or the I being in this exact moment. You know, you're observing that something is in this exact moment making you think, or whatever it is, like, reacting to that moment.
Very good. Anybody else feels that you can resonate to this kind of feeling?
Awareness.
So
Words come from me of all the things that I've read and stuff, and I just had the thought that it's kind of like you thought that, yeah, it feels like a construct. It's just something that it created to have this experience, like, or to speak about the experience of life, to speak about it. There's no substance, it's just the puppet. Yeah, it just feels, yeah.
That describes a lot. You don't have to put it in words, we know what it means.
Or have the experience of feeling that. It's a way of interacting, a way of expressing.
Who wants to experiment and experience the eye? We can sit down and see how does the eye feels like. We already suspect that the eye doesn't feel necessarily totally me. It may be somebody else there, but feels like I. It looks like I. But we can experiment and observe it this moment and see, are you the eye, or maybe I'm watching that appearance, look alike eye. So we'll have this kind of moment, sitting and silence. And people call it meditation. I don't call it that way. It's just sitting and doing nothing, having no intention whatsoever. This is the most important thing in this so-called meditation. Have no intention whatsoever towards anything. We're not trying to achieve out of this anything. We're only observing what is. And in this moment, maybe there's appearance of the eye in such or such way. There's thoughts, there's feelings, there's emotions, whatever. So we only observe what is without any intention towards anything, doing nothing whatsoever, being naturally as you are. Don't try to be anyhow else. Don't try to control your breath. Don't try to do anything but be natural. And don't try to be natural because it's not gonna work. Just be. And we have for that some spiritual tools. It's torture tools. Now, whoever feels to play with it, there's I got this. Oh, look at that, it starts by itself. So I got this one from somebody from India. I think I see someone who wants to feel. Well, you can send it throughout the whole thing if you want. Whoever feels to hold it. Very good. And somebody else. Yes. Good. Perfect. So we have a torture going on here. For some time, it helps. The reason why I do this is just so it came into existence and manifested here, and ever since it's used, started from that and it became into something a little more, and it helps people to, let's say, become present and withdraw from thoughts into this moment more. Attention just gets drawn by the noise, by the sound, and you're left with silence eventually. And in that silence, just observe the present being, whatever way it is. No intention, just observing whatever is. So whenever you're ready, you can, whoever is playing with it, of course, you may have to be with your eyes open, but others, you're welcome to close your eyes and enjoy. We have already helpers to introduce the mood of this game. So let's play a game of observe the eye. Well, that was unexpected. Very good. So, in this moment, you heard some sounds, you sat, and you maybe experienced some thoughts, some feelings, and particularly you may observe yourself in a perhaps different way. And I'd like to hear from you if you observed something unusual, let's say you would from before, if you're looking at yourself and from the moment of now when you didn't have any intention, but you only observed what is this I, which feels like something else, this ego. Because I am absolutely certain that every single one of you, while sitting here, observed that there was a thought, or maybe two, or maybe more in your head arising, right? Everybody had a thought here while sitting, right? Nobody excluded. So, everybody observed that something thinks in your head. Now, that doesn't mean that it's you, because you don't know. How do you know that it's you who thinks? You observe that something is thinking. There's an energy of thinking going on. Thought process goes on. It may identify as I am thinking, but that's another thought. So something thinks I am thinking, and it's me, this is who I am, and there's a lot of thoughts about the I. So now if we want to see who is thinking, who do we ask?
I.
So let's see. I, who is thinking? What do you get for the answer if you ask like that? Say, hey, I, who is thinking?
I'm thinking.
So are you thinking, or are you asking the I who is thinking?
The only way to communicate with this I is to ask thoughts.
Is that a thought?
Theory.
Theory sounds like a thought. So let's say this is how it begins. It begins by observing your theories, observing your beliefs, observing your expectations, observing your desires, and just taking a look, is this really true? So is perhaps your theory, how do you know that this is true? By what terms do you say this is a true? Or why to keep theory instead of truth? Do you want truth or a theory? Or you want truth theory? Which one?
I guess it depends on if you think truth is really important. I think it depends on your values of what you
Yes.
want to.
So let's put it in this way. Did you come here for lies? I can lie to you if you want to hold it. Or did you come here for the truth? What is more important to you? My lies or the truth?
Well, the truth, but at the same time, it's. But yeah, okay. The truth is true.
No, of course you don't know. If I'm saying, yeah, if what I'm saying is not necessarily true. So, first of all, don't believe in anything I say. That's just a disclaimer. Everything I say is bullshit.
Terrible guru.
Yes, of course. So that's why let's start in the beginning, knowing that you don't have to believe in anything I say at all, because you have to first experiment with your own being. Is this true in your own experience? Question everything I say, doubt everything I say, argue if it arises in your being, go against it with full force if it arises in your being. Nothing should be taken just the way I say it. So that's why when I ask, the question is to be internalized and say, okay, now I have a theory that this is how it should be. The reason why I'm asking these kind of questions is to warm up the whole situation, because if I, just as in the beginning, just ask a question, everybody becomes silent and nobody wants to talk anymore. So you have to stimulate the situation with several questions to allow a space where people feel comfortable enough to explore their own being openly. Yes.
There's something about us listening to other people and understanding that it's their eyes that we're listening to. And then if we're trying to distinguish between their experience versus our experience, it would be not truth at all because it's not our experience.
Mhm.
So there's this thing of like, we're listening to you or you or you, and it's your eye who's speaking. So there's no real
Mhm.
value. Something.
Of course, that's true.
But
Yes.
yeah, everyone's not, yeah, so there's something there.
This is very true. Everybody can be speaking of this or anything else, and we could listen, might as well to them, and it would be just the same as me speaking. I'm not saying that I'm speaking anything special. And if you listen to me, it's not as if you should listen to it as some authority. Even I understand that you don't take it, but I want to put it out that nobody should listen to me as authority. I'm just as you, a regular person, showing a space in which you may experience your own being differently. That's all. Because there is ability to experience yourself in a different way than perhaps you are doing it now. As for example, you came here with a bus or with a car or whatever, and I'm telling you I have a Ferrari. Do you want to drive it? Sit in. You have to get out of the bus. You have to get out of your car. You have to sit in and put your feet, drive around and experience how it rides. And if you like it, it's yours. Keep it. I don't need it. Consider it a gift. But you have to sit down to try it. Right? So right now, what I'm sharing today is for you to try it. Try it out. You don't like it? Go back to the bus, to the car, and drive the own old state of being, the old mindset that you carried before, and live as you lived on. It's fine with me, but I'm showing you a different way to live, a different way to experience yourself in which perhaps not that much of the self is being experienced. Now, this is where it gets a little funny when I say a different way to experience the self, where not that much of the self is being experienced. And this is true, but I don't know how many people can pick up on this. How do I experience myself differently, or I don't experience myself? Sounds contradictory.
But that's what I feel like, like these eyes, the self-consciousness. If you didn't have the eyes, you wouldn't be self-conscious, you'd be having this experience. So there wouldn't be any experience at all. It's like a dog who just like goes around, does whatever it's biologistic to do, but it doesn't really knows that he's living and doing it.
Do you think dog doesn't know that he's living?
No, I think he does not think about it. Like,
Yeah, he doesn't think about it, but he knows that he's living. So this is actually very good that you point out. Animals don't think that they're living and how they're living and how they should be living. We are given a mind which thinks about everything you want or not want also. So in a way, animals have, I cannot say more advantage, but a better state of being, not so troublesome, because we could live just as animals, as happy, we're content, we're taken care of just as good as them. And even so, if we're taken care of perfectly, we still have a troublesome head which thinks something is wrong. So in this moment, if I ask you, what is it that thinks there's being observed some sort of thoughts that arises, and maybe that which thinks calls itself I. So you may want to say I think, right? It's a natural way to say. But how do you know that this I is me? How do I experience myself? Like we have to question out. We have to question ourselves out of our mind, because we cannot question within the mind. We can create a philosophy, theories, and stuff like that. It's not going to help. But if we inspire a question which almost pushes us out of our mind to just enter a space of observing, of presence, something different happens. We may not find the question and an answer the way we expect. We may observe that, well, that's not what I expected actually. There's a shift in my experience, in my being, in my seeing, but that's not necessarily so special. Right now, maybe you feel that the state of fully happy or fully awake, fully aware, fully enlightened, fully knowing yourself means something special. And if you do feel that way, I'll tell you that's the special problem that you have. Because that is especially what stands in your way. What you are, if taken to be special, is going to be a trouble. If it is being observed in this moment as it is, something different may appear. And it may appear special also. You don't know. So we have to be empty of expectations, how you believe yourself to be, how do you believe to find something here. Because in here you cannot find something with your mind. You cannot find something with your head. That's why you pose these kind of questions to get you out of your head and to experience, where you silence yourself up and you start observing, where no immediate answer arises. Because this is not a question for the mind. The way I speak to you, I speak as consciousness to consciousness. And that's why I do not feel any story is relevant tonight to share about myself, because that's from the mind. That's a construct, the idea of the ego, self, me. Of course, we can talk about it, but tonight is for your consciousness, for your own exploration, for your own experience in your own being. It's only to realize yourself. It's only to recognize who you are, and then you're free to go. I'm not keeping you here to show you something. I'm not keeping you here to make you feel that you're gonna gain something. I'm only here exposing you a space where you recognize who you are, how you are, and like, let's imagine I'm a mirror. You come here, you look at yourself. Oh, maybe I have to fix my hair and do some adjustments there. But you know, in general, I am there. Yes, I see myself. That's it. And you recognize. And here, this is the special night, special moment. How often do you come to pay attention to yourself? How often do you go to a place where you're going to be reflected on for the whole night? In many places we go, we pay attention to everything else: TV, friends, chats, many activities in this life takes our attention, and we identify with all these things, and we create the idea of the self. I'm such a good lawyer. I'm such a good basketball player. There's identities forward in this place. Everybody feels to be good at something, and if not, we suffer because we're not good at something. There's immediately identity of a victim to suffer. So you have enough identities for everyone to pick up one. So now, which kind of identity did you get here with? And do you want to keep it, or do you want to observe it in totality as it is? Because in this moment, you're fully here. Did you keep some of the identity behind the doors, or is it here? You're fully here, right? So fully, we can already realize that which is here to be observed. And if the awakening, enlightenment, the realization, knowing yourself is being concerned, right now, this is a perfect space for it. It's not behind the doors. If you believe that it's there, go check and tell me if the enlightenment is behind the doors. If yourself is behind the doors, and if it is, bring it here. the way I feel that it's already here. So what is here ought to be observed. Maybe you observed previously in your life for how many years, I don't know. Many different activities, many different thoughts, many different feelings, emotions, and identifications. You can observe patterns in your life and even actually draw a line. How did you got here today yourself? You may have suffered, you may have been bumped into some sort of encounters in your life which made you to choose to be here today. So we observe patterns in your life experience that already developed the idea of the I, the self that was lived. And right now, right here, how much of the self do you have? How much of the self is present? Or perhaps there is presence and there's observing that there's idea of the self. Yes, there's idea of the self, it is. But that's about it. There's a thought of myself. If I don't think me, I, where are you?
There is no, but that's a, humans are supposed to know if there's a you, see all the yous around. Or I.
What I like about this, people start giggling because everybody starts observing very closely. Not only when I myself speak, but when everybody else speaks. And when somebody says I, everybody says I. And everybody starts looking, is this really I? So we see very good. And thought arose, and there's observation also. There's everybody thinks, and there's everybody feels to be I. So right now, don't start believing that I try to introduce you a better way of being without thinking. This is another problem with spiritual people, and this is the main goal of spirituality, to find the place of not thinking, of this special silence and special emptiness. Because this is the goal, to experience something special. Forget about it. Just as simple as that. You will never gain that because that's a goal for lifetimes to practice. There is a way, not a way actually. Right now, there is silence which is natural to your being, and it is not to be attained, it is to be observed. Thinking process, thinking entity is there, thinking, yes. But you don't have to attain silence. That thought process was observed in silence. When these sounds were going on while sitting here, there was silence to observe it. Maybe there was thoughts, oh, that sounds annoying or something, right? That was also observed. So before anything, as a thought, as a feeling, as emotion, as a story, there's observation. And everybody can share that. Nobody here is excluded from that experience. It's a unitary experience. Everybody shares experience of the observation, of the presence, of the being able to see what is going on. And that is natural to you. You don't have to develop it. You're born with that, and maybe you're even before you're born with that. But not to even go there because it's already going to introduce too much thoughts about it. However, right now, there's this space of listening silently, attentively. Maybe some thoughts may arise, maybe not. But if I leave you hanging like this without saying anything more, what's going to happen? Are you going to be disappointed? Or feel like you need something more? I should have said something just a little more to just fill that lack. There's something that I didn't get it. Because certainly a thought wants something. A thought, an ego idea that I always desire something. It came here wanting something. It came here wanting to listen to this and get something special, or get the disattachment or separation into which you'll be able always constantly stay. And the reason why I ask, how do you know that you already don't have it? Because naturally, it is already part of your being. It's not part, it is your being. Now, belief, a thought arises that I'm not there. I'm experiencing myself into a story, into separation, into belief. I'm so troublesome. And attention is given to that thought, so identification occurs, happens. And you believe that you don't observe that. This is the most funny part, that you believe that you do not observe identification. Oh, identify, the story happens, now I need to disidentify. And there must be a way how to, observe it all the time and not to get, identified. It's just, should be a way. Of course there is a way. Don't think about it. If you think about it, these kind of things that you need to disidentify, identify, that's already paying too much thoughts to thoughts. You observe that a thought arises and says, oh, I was identified, there was separation, I was not happy, or something is better when I observe. You observe that thought arising. You observe another thought saying, it's better when I observe, and I'm not identified. All of it is already naturally observed. Nothing arises without you knowing. A thought may arise and say, I don't know. But that is also observed. So you know that you don't know. Otherwise, how you can tell me that you don't know? So how can you tell me right now that you don't know anything?
I don't know.
How do you know? How do you know?
I don't.
So we may know or may not know. We don't know. When we don't know, we see we cannot know anything at all. Because by how do I know? Only by observing. And what do you observe right now? Are you confused, unsatisfied, settled, question, thinking?
Then what do you do if you observe it? Just anything.
That's a good way to observe it.
But I don't know, it's like, but I have those kind of things happening in my life. Because sometimes I know that it's just a noisy that happening. But sometimes the thoughts just come to me. And then in 1 or 2 weeks, it actually didn't happen. So times already. And so by observing, what do I know which one that I should pay attention to, or which one is not so much? I can't really tell that.
Mm-hmm. So,
Do you have this kind of experience?
well, yeah, there's perhaps almost everyone in here could share that one or another thought materialized. You had a thought and it came to be, right? Somebody, you thought of something and now oh my gosh, how could it be? So everybody shared that experience. Let's first of all to recognize that it's not unique to you alone. Everybody has it.
Right.
And now which thoughts to pay attention and which not. Right? Now this question is arising by who? Is this really you naturally wanting to know? Is this a thought thinking? Which thought should I pay attention to? Because we could assume a thought says there must be a thought to pay attention to. It's better to pay attention to this thought or that thought. Why not to just let go and be and just observe? Let it be, right? There was when you started talking, you asked, so what, do I just let it be and just observe? Yes, this is a natural immediate recognition, and then a thought arises. So which thought should I pay attention to? See, so immediate recognition was that should I just let it be? Naturally, it feels that way. I should just let it be and observe. But thought is not happy with that. It wants to observe another thought just to not let it be. Yeah, so there you go. A thought sometimes loud like this comes and like, oh, and your attention goes there. And like, if you observe that, your attention went to that thought. Noise. There's observation, immediate observation there.
No, it's just not really the thought. It's like, it just out of the blue, I will think of something, and even though it doesn't matter, we haven't contact for 2 years or a month, and he or she will just call me within 2 weeks. So I was like, yeah, for like some personal experience, my dad passed away not long ago, last year, and then, but before that happened, I had actually thought about it, but I was kind of didn't really connect to that. I thought, oh, that's how that could be happening. It's just noise. Yeah, that's what I mean. Those kind of thoughts, and I wish I knew their truth. I wish I was liar. I wish I was truth, and maybe I can do something about it.
So this is the thought arising. If I knew that this is so, I wish I could do something about it. But this is, you may not have done anything about it, right? You don't know. We have a thought that if I know about it, I could do something about it. But how? I'm supposed to do something about it. We believe that we're supposed to do something about it, and we can do something about it.
Yes, that's why I feel, because I forgive
Another thought. Yes, see, let's observe. Another thought arises, I'm guilty.
Yes.
It's not you guilty. A thought arises saying, I am guilty. I feel guilty, right?
Yes, I feel.
There's an observation of this thought. So immediately, let's see that there's a separation in the guilt. It's not you guilty. The thought feels guilty. The ego, the mind, feels guilty because it believes if it knew before, it could have done something.
Yeah.
But this is not you.
But I'm human.
Yes, of course. We're all human. Of course, this is the feeling that arises in the mind, in the ego. Yeah. That's okay. I'm not saying you're not supposed to feel that way.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying you, but I know all those kind of environments and stuff like that. But sometimes, I mean, come on, I'm just human.
Of course.
Yeah.
Everybody is like that. If I cut my finger, it hurts, I may cry. You don't get disconnected from what happens. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you should get disconnected from what happens.
Then why should I know? Why the thoughts that I felt, I had those kind of thoughts, and why they come to me?
Well, we can ask this question to every single thought, no? Every single thought can be questioned, right?
Yeah.
Why this thought comes to me? And sometimes you get really strange thoughts, like really bizarre thoughts. You think, why would I think that? So now the thought comes. Why does this thought come? Sometimes I'll just mention very briefly because I don't want to create space for beliefs. Alright. Sometimes you get insights, a flash type of moment of experience that you get the perception of what may take place, but you don't know that it may take place because this is not a direct knowledge. It's just an insight, and you come to see eventually that this is actually happens. I had those experiences many times. I don't speak of them because it's not really important. It happens sometimes, but you don't have to pay attention to them. It's not important. It happens. When it happens, it's okay. If you become empty of thoughts, they may happen more.
Yeah.
They may be more clear, and you may act on them if it's appropriate to act. But most of the time, you don't do anything. Acting happens by itself.
Right.
If you did not act, feeling guilty That's why I'm emphasizing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not of you, it's from the mind. Because you did not act naturally, this is what happened, this is naturally what took place. You should not blame ever yourself for something that happened naturally. If you consciously thought, I can't help my dad, and you said, no, I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, of course, feel guilty. You could have, but naturally, nothing happened, and because you couldn't do anything. Naturally, what happened was the best way to happen. So now the guilt should be observed that it's not necessarily coming from your own self. It's coming from the ego mind, which likes to play into emotions, guilt, fear, pain, stress. All these emotions it loves because it identifies deeply to create that illusion that you do not observe, that you are living this story. So now there's an illusion that we're living a story where I'm guilty because I didn't do something. Or I'm living a story because we all have a story. Everybody come here at least knowing a story from before, if not now, how I used to live a story, how I used to believe myself, how I used to worry, how I used to stress, how I used to feel guilty, how I used to overthink. Because that is a tendency of every single human being. But I don't call human being a human being. I call human person because you have to evolve to be a human being. Everybody is a human person. They carry a personality. They live a person type of life. Not much of a being is happening in human. Right now, we're being in this space. Being is fully, let's say, expressing itself because it's reflecting itself on itself. The questions I pose, the things I say, is only to create space for you to look at yourself, to reflect on yourself, to pay attention to yourself in a different way. Because perhaps you never asked yourself in such a way. You never looked at yourself in such a way. So right now, maybe you're looking, okay, maybe the guilt doesn't really belong to me. Maybe it's not me who's guilty. But you can still carry the feeling that there's guilt because this experience is there. You're human person. There's experience that is being experienced, guilt, and so on. That's fine. But in this moment of being, there's observation taking place, or is not necessarily taken to be yours. The guilt is already observed, and it doesn't have to taken to be mine.
Well, I think you have a very good point there. But as you say, like all those human mind needs to have fear, all those kind of things. Is that just sometimes how they just come naturally back,
Yes.
even though you observe them, and they just come back. I was just wondering, is there any way to make it more practical to not have them come back more?
See, this is a natural way to would like not have it come back, right? Because nobody really wants to feel this kind of feelings.
Yeah, because they just keep coming back. When you meditate, it feels good. And you go the whole day, your mind is like, oh, yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes just, even you know it, and it's still out of control.
So you want to control something, don't you?
Yeah.
So now, as soon as you see it, is this you who wants to control?
Yeah.
Or is this the ego who wants to control? Right? You see how quick, you see, yes, you see how quick it happens. That you're just speaking like, oh, you don't even notice that an ego was speaking.
Exactly.
Like, oh, now you can laugh at it because you see it.
Yeah.
So do you have to really control the feelings that come, or can you just let them be? And maybe if you let them be, maybe they'll stop coming. Maybe if you try to control them, you invite them because you pay attention to them. Control means attention towards something that it doesn't necessarily exist. You want to control the feelings of, let's say, feeling hurt. You may not even feel hurt anymore, but because you keep trying to control that feeling, you enforce that again and again and again.
Right. often I feel this thing like power. That's the meditation that we just did. Sometimes there is like silence and sometimes there is noise. But I just feel like if it's, because I do meditation at home myself, and it's very quiet. I'm used to that. And then when I hear noise, I feel like a part of myself is going there. And there is no noise, and then they're coming back, and I start to write stories in my head. Then there is noise, and then I'm going again. You see, I'm not that stable. You know, it's just like, they're going everywhere.
Do you see yourself when there's stories going into the stories also? As you see yourself going into the noise, do you see yourself going into the stories?
Yeah.
You do?
Sometimes, yeah.
So sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
But they think very nice stories. Sometimes the nice stories are like, oh, okay.
So if it's a nice story, you're like, oh yeah, I'll go there. But
Yeah, you get good in the stories. So it's like, oh, okay.
yeah.
And then after a while, it's like, oh no.
Who can share this kind of story? It feels so nice, and then when you go there, it's like doesn't feel that nice anymore.
Because I would really love to have this kind of balance or stillness.
So I point out something that's may become funny.
Yeah.
While you sit in meditation,
Yeah.
you observe this tendency that goes towards the sound, this energy that goes towards the sound. Then you observe that there's an energy going towards the stories, right?
Yes.
And then you sometimes observe that you don't observe, but you're already in the stories.
Yes.
At all times, there's observation.
Okay.
You never lost observation, right? You always observed all of these. Now, you may have believed that you've gone into the sound. You may have believed that you've gone into the stories.
Right.
But even if you did all of those, you observed all of those naturally, without doing anything.
So you mean I can because the observation is all there.
So now even can you let it be? Can you even do an action of letting it be, or is it just is? Okay, try to let it be now. How will you let it be? How will you do that? Yes, of course.
Because I found sometimes I feel if people get angry, even though when they get angry, you still have those kind of feeling. There's a very little part of you, the stillness or the observation is still there.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, you feel more wants to go to the anger than stay there.
Yes.
That if you say you can just let it be, and so it's better to go to the anger.
Of course. Go. Yeah. See, people believe it's not okay to be angry. No, be angry. Go to the anger fully and observe how you go into the anger. There's a difference when you try to control and you're afraid of anger. You're afraid of the emotion because you don't know how it will go.
Yes.
You never go. You're afraid. Go in silence. Go in observation. Don't be afraid of anything that is. Be angry and observe. And then you will not be afraid to be angry anymore. And you will, first of all, find no reason to be angry because you'll see how stupid you are. Like, literally, when you're angry, you start seeing, like, my gosh, how stupid that I can be. How could I say this? How could I do this? It's amazing when you allow yourself, when you let it be, how observation expands on what kind of patterns and activities you do, habits that you have. And as soon as you observe and just let it be, strange thing happens. As soon as you let go of the idea to control it and just let it be and observe, it starts slowing down, dropping off, stopping, and maybe you become less angry, more peaceful. Strangely, even if you don't try to control or to achieve anything, you just observe. If you become angry, you go and be angry, but you observe how angry you are. And you can even, if somebody says, oh, you're angry, you're not being very spiritual, you say, yes, I know that I'm angry. I know that I'm angry. I'm aware of that. I want to be angry now. I'm observing my anger. Say it completely. Be conscious of it and allow other people to know that you're angry. That's fine. They will not expect, first of all, that you can say that. Nobody says that when they're angry. And you'll appear that you somehow have more consciousness in anger. And very quickly you'll find that as soon as you go, there's an extent as far how far you can go. It just becomes so stupid that you cannot go that much. But when you're afraid of the anger, you just anger grows and grows and grows until the moment that it explodes and becomes something totally crazy. But if you observe and allow yourself to be angry, very quickly it just becomes not interesting. You're just like, anger, come on, I have better things to do. So how interesting is when we try to control, we get the opposite. Now, there's an observation there's always observation, and it's recognized in your being. I don't know. Hopefully, people relate to that experience and can resonate. That everybody, each one of us here, shared observation and observation of thoughts and tendency to go into emotions, feelings, sounds, thoughts, stories. All of it is being observed. So the fact is that there's already present observation. You don't have to gain it, you don't have to attain it, you don't have to work for it, you don't have to meditate for it, because when you meditate, you observe yourself meditating. Have you asked yourself who meditates? When you sit down, who is there to meditate? You observe these things and you see that even the meditation itself is a practice for the mind. Mind might as well take the meditation and say, now I'll become a great meditator, the best meditator that has ever been. I'll go to the caves of Himalayas and meditate there for 40 years and when I'll come out, I'll stun everyone with my meditation skills. Right? People create these kind of stories and they believe them and they go and they do that. And they come out and they sometimes actually after 20 years they feel that they wasted their 20 years and they go back and start living in the world even deeper than they ever did. Because there's deep disappointment in belief which breaks down. And that's why there's many spiritual groups, many spiritual activities where people go and indulge themselves in, and eventually something happens that they get disappointed because they don't get something. They get something for a while to get them entertained and interested. Something eventually stops and you break off and it's just either you look for something else or you just withdraw completely from this because the world is better than that. That's why I'm saying I'm not offering you here anything that you can take out of here tonight. I'm only showing you what is already present in your being, that when you walk out of here tonight, you'll only know that it's here, it's now, it's what I am. I don't have to learn it, I don't have to study it, I don't have to carry it, it's my being. Simply relax and be, let it be. The whole saying, let it be, it says everything. Because otherwise, what do you want to do? Do you want to practice something? If you want to practice something,
Can I ask one more
of course, as many as you want.
Could you just say, if you had those kind of periods, like less thoughts, and then the thing that you think about and sort of happening in the future, right? And you just be conscious. How you can be conscious? Because I feel like even though I have those kind of thoughts, that I don't even know they are real. And when the things happen, I'm just like dreaming. Yeah. So I want to know like how you can be conscious about it when you work towards the things that's happening.
Well, I don't really know because I don't know. Is this not a dream? How do you know that this is really happening? We may wake up 5 minutes from now and be like, "Whoa, that was wicked. That was really weird." I never had this kind of dream. We all sat in a room, talked about this, and just like, whoa, because you don't know really. 5 minutes from now, who knows what's gonna happen? The only thing that you really know is this moment. So in this moment, we may experience this as a dream, right? We don't know. It may feel real in the dream. When you're dreaming, it feels real. You don't even know that it's a dream until you wake up.
Yeah.
So right now also, how do you know? That's why I tell everybody, wake up. Look, the dream that you've been living, the illusion that you've been having. No, it's okay to dream. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel everything, but have a dream while being awake. This is where it becomes pleasant. And even at night, you may have an experience of conscious dreaming, lucid dreaming, where you can control your dreams when you appear to be conscious that I know I'm dreaming. So now, if you come here and you know that you're dreaming this life, you know that you're dreaming this illusion, this stress, this troubles in your life, that's fine. Then you can play with that. Oh, look at that. I feel that dream feels sad right now. Oh, what can you do? Sad dream, no nightmare. It changes. It's not like you're having this dream all the time, right? As you go to sleep, you get different dreams. Right now, this moment, you may have a dream of suffering or a dream of pleasure. Certainly, it will change. You never had a constant dream which never changed. So we're the same right now. You'll never have a constant experience which will never appear to change. Something doesn't change though, and that is what is your being. Is the presence, the consciousness, the awareness, what you are. The observation. There's something that we can all relate that doesn't change. We all always have it. It's just there. It just is. Now, I don't want to give you a practice into realizing this because there's a faster way. Like right now, we're doing observing it. We're paying attention to observation, and naturally, it all does its own job. We don't need to work for it. We just focus really hard. Like right now, we see how strong we're just paying so much attention to this. So like, now we see it. Now we see it.
I was going to say for my own from what you've been speaking and stuff like that, applying to my own life, I am very big on harmony between people. Very big important thing for me. And in that, there's when I'm talking to somebody and I'm upset with them, I still want to control their reaction to me, and I'll change things so that it's a harmonious way of interacting, even though I'm like pissed or whatever, and then I'm not feeling my spirit, but then it's also this understanding. I have kind of because I'm so focused on this harmony thing, I kind of get an understanding of what people are feeling at the same time. Like I have that intuitive thing going on too, so it's like, okay, this person can react this way if I say it this way, so I'm going to change the way I say it so that it will land harmoniously, ideally. So really, but I put a lot of attention into what they're going through at the time as well before I put through something. So I don't know if I do that, but it's very
This is
draining, I think.
this doesn't have to be draining. See, right now, I put a lot of attention to understand the identity, the story that you're coming from, and to not get upset with it and say, why the heck do you honor this story? Why the heck do you believe it? It's just bullshit. It's not true. No, I honor it. I say, there may be a story. And it doesn't have to be draining. You consciously see that there's something that I will say right now. I can say something and will upset all of you. If I say, just get out of here, it's nothing to get here, and stay silent for the rest of the night. That may upset you, and some people may stay just for their own interest. Like, I never saw this happening. No, nobody told me to leave, and just says nothing. So, you see, I could say many things, but I'm consciously observing what is appropriate to say in this moment to interact, like with you, with everybody else here, that it will relate to your being, to your experience. It's harder to speak it in a larger group because I don't know how each one of you are really feeling. You may hide your feelings, just be silent for the whole night, and then you go out and you explode in joy, and just crazy things happen. You start hugging people lying down on the street and just enjoying. And I'm not just imagining things, people have done it. And people are present here right now, sitting with us, who have laid down on the floor, and then at Friday night just on Granville here, and been hugging people on the street and laughing themselves, and like, that's this is not a lie, and I'm not promising this also to you.
I didn't get the right tea.
There's another bag down there. Who wants to take a break and to get this nonsense off your head, because we've been talking about this stupidity already for too long, and if we want to just relax and not pay attention to this nonsense, we can do that, and if we want to talk about it after, that's what we can do, or see what happens, observe. And so, vote for a break? Alright. If somebody was watching, you have to keep watching the break. I need water. But I think there is a button of some sort. Oh no, it's on like for muting. I'm not gonna mute it. You have to listen to everything that's going on, mister. Oh no. That removed nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Directly. Well, yeah. The whole world depends on that.
Yes, the differences I was in the house or outside, I can't remember where I left her. So you put my thoughts up there.
We arrived there. Center. I'm gonna send an email from the additional community sign again because I'm from Ferry or something from here. Coordinating that. We several people with the first we can go down this. Come up with something. That's why another person was on very well.
No, it's fine, if you want to stay.
I imagine this happened. He happened. Something. And then you can, it comes on. There's
What is the interface?
Yes,
I just know something. I think the thing that's not happening is more like something I didn't just keep.
Yeah, that's what I got. And sometimes I feel like just out of blue or.
It's very high.
What's that? I'm here.
Yes.
Can do that. So just keep talking like that.
Yeah.
And we trust that when it happens, just like trust that it happens, just to make sure it's the right thing. And the things that don't happen are usually things that, like, crazy things that make me think about people.
Yes.
Like, not everything, like, procrastination, or maybe, something that doesn't need is too hard. That's easy. But it's something that just comes up. And what it is just happens. You don't need to, but just pay attention. Things happen. I write things down. Actually, this happens. I was just trying to see whether it's fake. And I think it's true. Okay, so I thought this. And I thought this something that every single happened. And usually 2 weeks. That's why. Sometimes it's a year. Mainly for some reason, things that. You can try something.
Yes, writing is very good.
When you write and you just see it, very good thing also kind of
Yeah, because when the boss is constantly, and then and then it happens. If I write it down, it will be much better.
I find this words with intention. You want something, or something. Just things that happen when you write them down, there's a pattern. And just write them down and just so you usually just keep it like that. And then you're going to, and then you will, and then when something happens, an opportunity comes up. You're not with the questions, you start. It's hard to hear it. It's not towards you. No, you feel comfortable with yourself. You realize that you're observing
Yeah. Maybe. So that I thought and I yeah, because I went to a person. He actually just taking his time and he was my computer and he taught me what happens. So I changed words a year and a half. So that's a yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Get there, we record everything.
Yes.
And I'll bring this up so you need to be careful as you put it.
Because I didn't. Yeah.
It seems like there's something different. Oh, yeah, something else. When you actually do that, these practices, you just noticing things, you will find that there's explanations for old memories. For example, you have old arguments all the time, or you probably have things come up, explanations. As soon as something washing the dishes, and a solution to a problem. No further explanation for something happening wrong, good or bad, or just a religious problem
We kicked it. No, was it? Would you? So it's not sitting. It's sitting. Moving around.
Look at that, the guy came, or somebody who was on the break came back.
Can you tell how many people are there?
One.
Oh, just one, yeah.
Sometimes we have a little more, sometimes a little less
But
than
you
one.
can't tell. No?
Yes.
A little.
A little less than one, yes. Okay, so let's see. The microphone will die anytime also. So. Alright. So yeah, the nice break. We relieved the stress of talking about this. Right? It was too heavy to listen to this already. Let go and everything. Some people also went away. And right now, those who are left, what keeps you here? Why are you still here? So something enjoys in your being to be here enough to stay. Why do you enjoy to be here?
As a kiss.
Well, somebody enjoys that also.
Connecting with others.
I took a course at university, and it's the only one that I had to withdraw from. And it was called Symbolic Logic. And it had to do, like, use the words, and if you use this word and that word, and equals this word, then this and this plus this and this would equal that, and then you take derivatives of all that. And I think it was based in philosophy. And the way you're speaking and the words I'm hearing, it's kind of like that. And I'm really curious because I didn't have the time to devote to making the patterns, so that's why I withdrew, because I felt, because it just, the knowledge level just was like that. And I'll never forget the feeling that I had, that I really would like to know more about that type of relationship that words have. And I'm thinking the same thing right now, is the relationship that comes between the use of I, me, myself, ego, and then all of the drama words that I'm choosing not to engage in, like fear and doubt, aggression, controlling behavior, all of that I don't want any part of. So if I eliminate all of that stuff and just dwell on these 4 words, then I think I should be here to see what you have to say about that. But a pretty long answer, I guess.
Which four words?
I, me, myself, and probably ego.
Are all of these four mean one and the same thing, or no?
Huh?
Are all of these four mean one and the same thing?
No.
No.
I, me, self, and probably myself. And ego, maybe. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud.
Okay, so which one of those five is you?
Oh, they're all me, but like, do I want to get rid of any of them, or do I want to combine them? Like, if I can create, in my mind, I guess that's ego, or in this space here, if I can create identities or feelings that I can feel with these words, what I want to, which ones do make me feel the best, and which ones make me act the best person I can be to either myself or other people, do I want to keep?
None of them.
I don't want any of them.
No. Well, I'll be honest.
Well, that just leaves
The whole.
the hole.
Very good. That's what's supposed to be.
Well, I felt the hole when we were meditating. I thought, when am I going to fill this thing?
With another hole.
Kind of like that bubble within a bubble.
Oh, exactly. You see, you had the practical experiment. That's, it's better to have a hole and emptiness in here than filled with nonsense. It's better to have nothing here than filled with all those five. Each single one of them has a quality, but each one of them has also ugly part, which just will smell too much of a human. The whole does not smell like a human. You may appear very peaceful, very silent, very pleasant, very nice, compassionate, loving, caring, but there's a hole. You say, oh, you're so loving, you're so nice. No, that's nothing here. Really, I don't intend to love you. It just happens in such a way. From this hole, there's love going. From this hole, there's everything flowing. So now, do you want to prevent the flow and put some sticks as I, me, myself, and then you put this kind of like a strain over it, and you get like whatever else comes out of it. It's already eventually it clogs up and it explodes. And, it gets ugly. If you have a hole, it just flows naturally. Naturally it goes and nothing stays. So better to have a hole. So don't fill it up with anything. Allow anything to flow through it. So see, this is perhaps not what you expected.
No.
You wanted maybe one of those five.
Yeah.
Maybe one of those five should be the best one. I'll pick that one. I'll meditate on that. I'll work on that, and I'll increase the power in that, and I'll be the best in that. Right? So that's something. So no identity. Maybe better at home. Nothing. Doesn't leave you with anything much, but it's okay. You don't have much to lose also. If I give you a lot, you'll have something to lose, and you can play a game. I got it, I lost it. I don't want you to come here and say, oh, now I get it. Then you walk out, and next time, no, I lost it. I had it for a week, and then I lost it. I don't know where did it go. No, I want you to recognize that there's a hole in you. There's nothing to get, just to recognize that space in you through which all the universe flows, through which all the life flows. You are this space throughout which all the activity, manifestation appears. You're the core center being for the observation of all this universe. But you have to be empty to see that. Otherwise, you think, I'm a human, I have this problem, I have that problem. You don't see yourself as the center of the universe, but you are. You are this whole through which the whole universe flows. You're the center for it. Now, which whole is more holy? Which emptiness is more empty? Can we claim that I'm the emptiest and the holiest? Right? If we come to these terms, we cannot appear to be much different from each other. But if we say, oh, I have this quality, this one, developed to such extent that now it's so great and nice. And then we all believe that we have to manifest it in a way and work for it and somehow get the same qualities and achieve that one what this person achieved. Because the main spirituality is somebody achieved something and he says, I achieved this, and you can achieve this also. This is the way. The most special, unique way. You have to pay for it, $10,000 and more in the other course to get it, but it's special for you. I'll give you a special price. I don't give you a special price. There's donation box if anybody wants to share. But otherwise I give you freedom. You take it or you leave it. It's up to you. If you want freedom, here you go, enjoy it. I provide you space to experience it in your being. To recognize. That's it. And right now if you have any questions, of course go ahead. There's space for the questions to arise to be addressed as well. But if you have a hole, that's good enough. Be holy.
One comment I had was when you were saying maybe this is a dream. The mind apparently can be trained to distinguish between a dream state and real life. So that's the first step for a lucid dream. So when you're going through your daily life, like right now, you would be like looking for things that you already know don't conform to the laws of physics. If I'm talking to you and then I suddenly realize he's actually 6 inches above the sofa, that would be a tip-off. And once you train yourself just in your daily life, then even when you're dreaming and you're dreaming, then when something happens that you know, then you can become lucid. But in my case, I wanted to have a fantastic, I wanted to have a fantastic experience as soon as I realized it was like it was a dream. Because the guy that I read about, he's a mountain climber. He was climbing Mount Everest, and it was like brutal conditions, and he thought that he wasn't going to make it. And then he looked down, and he's wearing a T-shirt, and it's on like Mount Everest. Obviously, you're not going to be. So when that hit him, well, this is a dream. Then he. Instead of like being so like I'm gonna die, it's like this is great, and he jumped off. He jumped off, and he's like flying around. It's a dream. But when I tried that, as soon as I realized it was a dream, I just woke up. I guess I was disappointed.
We'll try again. To be continued. See, this is one of the experiences. It may happen, it may not happen. You may get lucidity in other dreams or not. But see, the tip-off is also being expected in this life for awakening. There must be a tip-off. There must be some I'm dreaming. The realization, this is a dream. Something has to be very clear in such way. And that's why people tend to look for everywhere for the long, long, long time because they expect the tip of this is a dream. But maybe it's more subtle. Maybe it's more gentle. Oh, I was believing in this story. Oh, now I observe. Now I see. And then right now it may not feel anything special. Yeah, of course. You may leave and you find yourself at home, cannot stop laughing, and you seem like some sort of psycho. And people would certainly lock you up if somebody would see you laughing and laughing and then crying and laughing again and crying and laughing and you don't know what's happening, but you seem to be thoroughly enjoying that experience. And it's fine. When you don't know, it's nothing funny about it. And that's why you're laughing. So if you can find yourself in that situation, or you can find yourself that you go home and you cry and cry and cry, but you cry out of joy. There's no sadness behind the tears. Or you become so silent and there's nothing. Or you become so loud and there's so many thoughts and so much turbulence. And however, every single experience is going to be observed. Right now, you don't live here with less observation, with less consciousness. You will live here with more consciousness because you paid attention to your own being. You paid attention to your own observation, to your own experience. And right now, what's going to happen by living through these doors? You are inviting the experience to be more intense, actually, because you've now committed yourself to observe, not only somehow observed, and you're now consciously committed yourself to observe and said, okay, so there's only observation. I just let it be. And the mind says, oh, you just let it be? Okay, I'll see. And it immediately will start playing with you. Thoughts, emotions, triggers, anger. Don't be surprised if you may experience not pleasant situations even more, but it's only for you to experience presence. It's only for you to experience yourself even more intensely in observation. Otherwise, if everything is pleasant, why would you want to observe? Why would you want to know yourself? You must have encountered something that wasn't so pleasant that you would like to observe what is true, what is beyond this. So right now you already are ready to go into your being and observe completely, to allow yourself to surrender in this observation, in this consciousness, in this awareness, and allow your being to completely be itself. Not to be a person anymore, not to have the troubles anymore, the problems, the difficulties. They may come, but you'll observe them, and that's the difference. Nothing big has changed, only the shift in perception. You used to perceive yourself as a human person. Perhaps right now we have a space where we can drive a Ferrari and say, now I can see myself from a better elevated point of view where I can not only see myself in that small rusty car, I can actually, I'm so fast I can drive around the whole place to observe everything. You're here, you're present, you're complete. There's no more to you than this. If you feel that there's something more, be careful because this is the mind. The mind always wants more. For your being, what more? What more do you need? What more than this? Do you believe that there's anything more than this? And if you want something more, please tell me. I want to know. I'd like to know what more do you want. So maybe someone may have said that they want something on the comment. Okay.
I want more impact.
Oh, nice. Very good. There's a want. More impact? Impact. What kind of impact do you want?
In helping people and in being able to give in a way that creates a bigger healing. The impact is like, it starts with me, but it does transcend out in a bigger way.
That's a cool want. Do you want it now, or this is a want arising from somewhere?
I want it in the near future.
So it's not now.
I, I want to work or do the work to be able to create it now so that the impact is long term. And it's like, a long term.
Yes, it's.
Yeah, good. But it's really good. Eventually, but now is because of COVID. So for the year, you'd be like, you want it now? No, I'm having it now. That's what I want. But it starts with now.
So now we want.
Mhm.
We can want. One thing is good. Don't get disappointed if you don't get it. Though. That's the whole thing with the wanting. We get too attached to wanting, and then if we don't get it, we get miserable. Want without wanting. How does one do that, right? How do I want without wanting? When I want, I really don't want.
You don't take that personally.
In a way, I want to want. That's enough for me. I just want to want. So I want an island in Philippines because I'm going to Philippines by the end of the year. I want to have an island where people can get together, and sit in this kind of space, and have a place to talk under the palm trees and just enjoy. And there's a place for people always to come, right? So I want it. If I get it, it's great. If I don't get it, it's not miserable because I just want it. I just enjoy the want. I don't have to have the outcome of it. So see, I'm free from wanting. I don't really want it. I just enjoy the wanting experience being there.
Have
Now,
you
if
ever
you,
experienced something that you wanted?
sorry,
Have you ever experienced something that you wanted?
what I wanted, I really wanted.
Have you ever experienced something that you want to be a yes here and now?
Yes.
Happening? Did you enjoy that experience when you actually got it?
Of course, but then I wanted something else.
Yeah. So
See, that's the problem. You fulfill one want, you want something else. It never ends.
of course, that's what being human.
That's
Being
a
human.
that's a human mind. It always wants something.
Mm-hmm.
Human being is just comfortable to be. It's enough to be. Right now, this hole in your being is comfortable to just be in this moment. The mind wants something, and it's fine. It's perfectly fine to want. It's not wrong with anything. Go ahead and want the best things, actually. Don't want just little things. Want the best things for yourself. Why not? There's no limit in your being how much you can want and how much you can get. It's totally, you can have anything you want. Just learn how much you can want. People want too little, so they don't get enough. Want more for yourself and you'll get more. Ask more for more and you'll get more. Of course, don't ask in a way that you'll get disappointed. Just be open to allow yourself to experience this life without any limits. It's only you who creates limits in your head. There's no limits otherwise. There's no limit how much you can want. But don't suffer from wanting. That's the only thing. Free to want, but don't suffer.
But remember, because you don't always get it.
Yeah,
Get it.
exactly. So that's the best part. Even if you don't get what you want, you'll always get what you need. You may get actually the opposite what you wanted, but this is actually the right thing what you needed. And you will not agree with that until 10 years after you look at it, okay, that was really true. But when it's happening, you'll be kicking and fighting and beating us. No, 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 no. This is not what should be happening. But in hindsight, it's like, oh, it's good. Because you needed it. But you don't know that you need it. Certainly you don't want it if you don't know. And sometimes you need to go through some tough experiences in life, some unpleasant, some stressful, suffering experiences in life to kind of free up a little, to loosen up your attachments to the stories. Because only after you suffer your attachment, you start questioning. Before your attachment gives you suffering, you're very happy to carry it. No problem at all. Your stories are beautiful stories as long as they don't hurt you. As soon as the stories start to hurt, you want the way out of the stories. Meditation seems to be perfect. Spirituality, the way of suffering, the way of the grace. Hooray! There's a way to safety, to the paradise, to the heaven. And there is. There, right now, you're already experiencing it. You don't have to work for 10 years. You got to see it now. There's only observation, nothing more. You don't even have to let everything be. You don't have to even let go, do anything whatsoever. You just observe that everything is being observed, no matter what. And if you get an idea that you do not observe, remember that you observed that idea also. You get the idea that you lost the observation, that you identified with the stories, you observe that also. It's effortless, it's immediate, and it's unavoidable. It's inevitable. You have no choice. Try to not observe. If you're lucky, tell me how did it go. And I know this is it's nonsense that I'm saying because it's like Zen koan. I'm giving you a complex idea which is impossible spiritually to accomplish. How can I stop observing and then tell you that it actually worked? Something observes that, right? So it's impossible. I already know that I'm setting up you for failure. But if you don't know it, I'm happy for you to try it.
What's your next question? What's the sound of one hand clapping?
That's old one. I don't want to go to that. It's too old. What I bring is very present to the moment. So hand is old hand, 18 years, 19 years. So how many years is there in that hand? Clapping with that story of so many years of this story. But nowadays the relevance is maybe a computer. We'll draw what's the sound of computer not working. So, create the new terminologies, new associations, just for us to be able to recognize, to relate. And I don't know, then tonight we try to relate and to recognize in our own being, in our own experience, whatever you could. And I don't want to drag this further more. I'm honestly happy to see that you're still staying here. I don't know how come you keep yourself still here. Something is still not going for the door until something is still sitting. So something is still happening in this space. And I'm happy to see that there's people enjoying this space, people not necessarily resisting this so much, but observing it and allowing this observation to provide the experience in your being. Because that's all that it is. I'm only providing the space for you to have your own observation, your own recognition, and then experience goes on by itself. So that's all. That's about it. I don't know what to contribute to this more. Unless you have something, I'm very happy to listen to it. If not, we can just quit this and we can just be normal and not talk about this in such silly way and just chit chat and be small talk if we want and just live life normally because the highest way of being is being normal, not some being elevated, sitting on the highest mountain and the highest throne and being like, oh, I see all of you, the most highest awakened one.
I'm just a typical darling, isn't it?
Yeah, they do.
Because I went to a retreat, and then at the end, I noticed there was one guy. He just let himself rented basement for 3 months, and he's not going out every day. No light. It's dark all day and night, and 1 meal a day. and he stays there for 3 months. But actually, they then after you come out, you can kind of tell they're a different person. I mean, living here as well.
Of course.
Yeah, but it's a very high level. I heard that story.
Well, you'll become a different person, but that's it. You're not going to get anything more. Do you want to become a different person, or do you want to lose all of these 5%? Right? You can become a different person through practice of 3 months of this practice, of this technique. In here, it did not give you a technique to become a different person. In here, it gave you space to observe all the persons that you live and to choose, do you want to live a person or do you want to be yourself? And yourself is not a person. Is this presence, observation, is this consciousness, which is there? It's not a person. Person is being observed and lived, but it's not you. You see a person, you see yourself appearing in front of people in such a way, thinking of yourself in that way, but you're not that. You're observing all of that, right? So in here, you're losing yourself as a person, and I cannot say regaining, but maybe merging. I cannot say. Whenever I say these words, I know that I'm lying.
Okay.
I cannot say that you merge back or do anything because nothing really happens. You only see that lie that you believe to be a person, and then you see, oh, I'm not a person. I'm this, whatever this is. I don't know. I cannot put a word on this. If I say this is consciousness, this is awareness, this is space, this is emptiness, this is a whole, and nothing feels like it, but you know what it is because in your being, you know, this is your being. You know what it is. But what's the word for it? The being, isness, I am that I am. That's all that you can say about it. So if somebody wants to go to a retreat where they'll become a different person, I'm not offering that.
I thought you were going to offer 3 months to basically know that.
Oh no, I'm much easier, much more practical, maybe more masochistic. To attend my retreat, but if you do want to, you can sign up. Yeah, it's all about losing the person. So if you want that, it's I believe if this. How many people are coming here to the retreat? So,
What are we going to really do on the retreat?
exciting. Well, I honestly don't know. Likely it's going to be something like this for some time, and then we just go and experience that. And there's a beautiful space where we're going to be. It's on the mountains, so you see the mountains around, and it's like very, very beautiful and very silent. Where lots of nature, you see animals also walking around. Then you do some sort of nonsense spiritual talking like right now. And like, oh, this is cool, yeah. And then you go and like walk around and like feel so cool about it. And then you come back and you say, oh, this was cool, you know. I observed this and this, and like I really liked it. Like this wasn't cool. I observed something that I really didn't like. So like this, the retreat goes, and he was a little bit of a person, and maybe completely. And actually, when you lose a person, you change it. You change completely in a personality. Because we don't really operate from that same person as you used to anymore. Somebody will talk to you, but you don't reply as a person anymore. You reply as consciousness.
So when do we do the naked bungee jumping?
Well, anytime you want. Anytime you're ready, you lead the game. After you.
Are you going to send out information about where we're meeting and stuff?
Yes, I will send the additional information about meeting, picking up people, perhaps
Yeah.
somebody who has car, and yeah. So I'll see how that will develop. But by the end of the week, everybody will have information already sent out. So, yeah. So right now, it's all about you.
What is it?
Are you interested to come to the retreat also?
Yeah, I do, but I have no idea, like, is it camping or what are we
I
going
know
to
there's like a house where you'll have a room,
Okay.
and you'll have a bed, and you'll have bed sheets and a pillow and a light
Okay.
and your own bathtub and your own washroom. Oh, no, the place is just gorgeous. It's everything is there, and we have a kitchen. You have plates, you have forks and everything is there.
For food, we need.
Just food. That's it. You just bring maybe fruit, some whatever you want to cook. If you want to cook something, there's everything there for cooking.
Is there around, I mean, the groceries and stuff?
I would say to get before the groceries, better because there is a store, but more expensive. There's one store in the island, and
So
because it's in an island.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, so there is a store.
yeah.
You'll pay a little more for the stuff. So if you bring some stuff, what you may need, and if you need some additional stuff, we can always go down to the store and get
So it's like how much is
free.
Is it? Aww. Everybody's gonna go on. How much is the trip to Gold Island?
The ferry is the bus takes maybe 275, and then the ferry $10 or something, and it's both ways. So, and then yeah, and they retreat pretty much the way this works. There's a house where they offer rooms, and I as an organizer book a group, uh, so I get maybe 15 rooms or something, and then you pretty much collect people who wants to go there, and whoever comes, they ask if for people to donate whatever they can, whatever is comfortable for them. They suggest that for them to maintain the space is like around $60 a night. If you cannot, do something like that, that's totally fine. Some people may leave $1. That's fine. For them, it's completely fine because you know what happens. Some people who leave $1, they really don't have anything right now, but that's all that they have to give, and that's what they gave. Some people have more than enough, and they leave $200. So they complement each other, and ever since that retreat center opened, they never had a deficit. Every single time, they always had people donating generously enough for them to maintain to keep it free for everybody. So that's why I do these meetings for free. And when I found about that space, I was like, perfect. So somebody else shares this kind of ideology that these things shouldn't be paid. These things should be given for people to experience, to enjoy, and then if they want to give something, they will give. When you take money, you take money for what? For your own selfish reasons. I don't have any need to get anything from you. I'm only here to share my freedom. And if you want freedom, it's readily available for you to experience also. So the retreat, if you want to come, you can tell me yes, I'm coming, and I'll know that you're coming. There's I think you left your email there
Did I?
here in the form, right?
Yeah, maybe I did. Yeah.
If you can find yourself there, and right on the other side,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I'll send you personally an email with information. You can take a look, and if you like it, yeah, so it's gonna be something very internal as well, where people just enjoy exploring their own being. And certainly, some things change after this. And people don't live in the same way anymore. Like right now, you're gonna leave through these doors. You're not gonna walk the street in the same way as you came here. It's impossible. So right now, there's already a shift, a space in your being, something different, where you cannot live the same way anymore. So that's why I'm saying that form is for your own caution. It's for your own safety. You welcome here. You willingly commit yourself to a life which may be different than you expect. However, it's there for you to experience. The reason why it's different because you don't expect what comes after this. Certainly, it's not. You may experience variety of pleasures and pains, and dark nights and bright nights, whatever. And the reason why I'm mentioning this because as soon as the attention is being drawn back to your own being, out of the story, out of the mind, out of the belief, out of the illusion, what happens? The mind notices the lack of the attention, the lack of the energy, and it tries by all means to get it back because it lives on your attention. Your stories lives on your attention. Your thoughts live on your attention. As soon as you give attention to observation, to your own being, the mind gets irritated and say, hey, you're not gonna do this with me, and starts making all kind of situations for you to get upset, mad, sad, any different way, just to take it personally, to again be like, oh, I'm experiencing it, just to again believe in something, because again, like mind gets attention, it's like, very good. But now you know that this is one of the patterns that the mind does, one of the ways that the mind goes. And you will observe many, 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 many ways that the mind appears. Sometimes you'll find yourself deeply in the mind and you'll be like, oh, wow, I was totally identified. I was totally in that. And just after only 15 minutes or more, you'll recognize I was there. I didn't even know. But that's enough. You already know. Observation is there, that there was identification, which was not observed necessarily consciously, but there was observation enough to know that I wasn't there. So you're back here. I'm here. That's it. Cool. That's how fast it is. And you sometimes find yourself there. Sometimes you find the energy going to identify, going into the story, and you're watching that energy going, and you're already being suspicious of it. So you're kind of just watching it, not really going into it much more. And sometimes you notice that energy rising, and you're not even paying more attention to that. You already know where that energy will go. Different ways you'll recognize your own being. Different ways the mind will come, and in different ways, in different grace, you will experience yourself. Not always pleasant, not always painful. There's a harmony in which your being will balance itself out. But the experience is needed. So, what experience is needed for you? I don't know. You may want a different experience, but you may need something what you'll get. So, deal with what you get. Observe, allow, and see how things are different if you observe instead of trying to control. Because you even observe the control. Control is being observed, so it's already latter. It's not the first. Anyhow, whatever is going on here, I don't know. So, yeah, enjoy. Whoever is watching, still, bye-bye. Very happy that you watch, enjoy, and whoever you are, you may introduce yourself later. Oh, it walked away before I even stopped.